Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries talking about Monday Night Raw from March the 18th, 2023. It's still not good. There's a poster, I don't know if he's a follower or not, subscriber I should say, who asks me why do I keep watching these shows even though I give them all bad reviews. Because I seemingly gave every wrestling show except NXT a bad review for the past month or so. And Raw is just consistently bad. And so is Dynamite. And so is Collision. And, well, the shows that I don't review are just consistently bad. And I barely watched them. I haven't sat through an entire episode of Collision in 10 weeks, maybe. I usually just get sleepy about the 9 o'clock hour. But Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, I'll push through, all right? And because usually bad wrestling shows can still be fun to review, they can still be fun to talk about. The worst shows are the boring ones, because then you got nothing to say. You got nothing to talk about. Bad can at least be funny. We could all laugh together when it's bad. But when it's boring and nobody cares, them's the hard ones. And Raw is getting there. It's just consistently not good. Now, there's still some good things happening, but it's consistently not good. Let's get right into the review. Jey Uso starts the show. He knows that Jimmy and Solo are in the building. He wants to talk to them. They come out. Jimmy and Jey, they stand in the ring face to face for the first time in a long time. Jey says that this feels different. They've gone at it before and linked back up, but this feels different. He says that regardless of the bad blood that they've had against each other, he misses Jimmy. Says that they don't ride together, they don't talk, he don't even see him. He misses his brother. Says that all Jimmy got to do is come back. Jimmy, just come on back. So Jimmy says that he never left him, and that it was Jay's idea to leave the bloodline, and he just helped him. Then he says, little bro, go off, become the biggest star on Monday Night Raw, be the top merch seller, even win a tag team championship without him, which he seemed really embittered about, which I enjoyed. He then said that after all of that, Jey thanked Cody when everything that Jey has ever achieved has been because of Jimmy. And then Jey says that the biggest moment of his career is going to be his dream match. And that's when he's going to beat the yeet out of Jimmy. And then Jimmy and Solo jumped Jey and beat his ass. And then he was saved by Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes had to save little bro Jey again. This was an intense promo. I like this. I thought it was very good. Jey and Jimmy are not really good at talking, but they're good at building off of the story that they've already laid. And I just wish they would have done this promo before Jey challenged him to a match. That's number one when it comes to me criticizing this. I wish Jey would have said all of this stuff before he challenged Jimmy to the match. Second, the idea that Jimmy helped Jey leave the bloodline when Jimmy was the one who quit the bloodline first. Now, how are you going to explain that? Or did somebody forget that Jimmy was the one who left first? Clearly, Jimmy forgot that he was the one who left first. But he's also the heel, and heels can lie. Jey being the guy who still misses the team and still misses the brotherhood of it. Somebody has to, I guess. That makes him the sympathetic babyface because he doesn't really want to do this, but he's also the one who made the challenge, which is why I said this should have been happening before he made the challenge. He should have reached out and tried to fix this thing before it devolved into a WrestleMania challenge. But they've already challenged him, so I don't understand now why he's saying just come on back. It's like, ain't it too late? Don't you want to? What if he said yes? Then what? That doesn't make sense. Because if he just said yes, then What? I don't know. But I think it was a good promo segment overall. I think they got out of it what they needed to get out of it, which is setting the standard that Jimmy is embittered about Jay's success. Feels like he's responsible for all the success Jay has ever had. While Jay just, kind of wants to do his own thing, wants to be left alone to a degree, but still wants to be close with his brother and still just kind of wants his brother at his side. But he does want to do his own thing. So this was at least interesting. Then we get into this tag team qualifier malaise. I thought this was a tournament. Apparently it's not a tournament. And if you're on Raw and you win, you get in. If you're on SmackDown and you win, you go to another round. How is this working? I don't understand this. Am I looking at two different things? Am I slow? Or do I not care? Or do I care so little about this that I got this mixed up with something else? Because it feels like on SmackDown they're doing a tournament. And on Raw, it's you win, you get in. Am I wrong? Help me out in the comment section. I have no idea. Anyway, DIY defeat the Creed brothers. I flipped the table, and I was very unhappy. Extremely unhappy. The tag team match was actually fun because the Creed brothers rule, but the Creed brothers losing. Ay. Why? Oh my God. So we got New Catch Republic, the Pete Dunne, the baddest man in NXT, and Namaste Bates. Those two guys have a chance at being at WrestleMania, and the Creed brothers do not. The Creed brothers do not. How bizarre. This sucks. This sucks in the worst way possible, bro. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. Truly. Later, Awesome Truth defeated Indus Sher to win their spot in the match. And it seems to be that a lot of people just are saying Awesome Truth is probably going to win the titles, which is likely true. But I'm not a big fan. Look, I know a lot of people are irrationally angry at our Awesome Truth and they don't like it. It just goes back to Triple H trying to put, the toothpaste back in the tube. Awesome Truth worked in like 2011. I don't understand why they're doing it now. Mainly because The Miz isn't doing anything and we don't know what to do with him. So we put him in a tag team with R-Truth. But it really just dilutes both guys. Like, it doesn't really increase both of them. It's kind of dilutes them both. But whatever. Paul Heyman showed up. He showed up to apologize for what Jimmy and Solo did. And then said he's there on official business. He's got a message from Roman Reigns. But once he has his official business, he's going to leave too. And his official business was interrupting Cody Rhodes' promo as Cody Rhodes was kind of trying to bite The Rock's head off. So let's talk about this. Because a lot of this is Cody Rhodes talking about The Rock. He is not even in any way addressing Roman Reigns. It's almost like we forgot Roman Reigns was even there. Which is an odd position. They did this at WrestleMania 14 with Shawn and Austin and Mike Tyson, where Shawn Michaels being there was just kind of, yeah, he's there. But reality, it was Austin and Tyson that they was doing all the talking and everything. So Cody Rhodes says that The Rock is trying to be a heel, and he knows he knows some heels. And I instantaneously was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're using insider terms on TV. And I hate it. I hate it so much. So he says he doesn't think The Rock is a heel. He thinks The Rock is an asshole. Then he begged The Rock to not get emotional. Said The Rock likes to mock people who get emotional. Then he says that The Rock called him a crybaby, but The Rock's been crying this whole time. He cried to the TKO board when it was announced that he was going to wrestle Roman Reigns, and then he heard the people turn on him. He ran to the TKO board and he cried. And then he says that the TKO group are yes men, they're enablers, And he says The Rock is a lot of things. He's the people champion. He's the Brahma Bull. But he's also a carny succubus, which means he's a whiny bitch. Then he says that this locker room does not need you as much as you need it. Then he continued talking about The Rock, saying that he has a lot of respect for The Rock's mom and expects The Rock to have respect for his mom. And on the subject of his mom, he says that his mom jumped a barricade to fight an undercover cop. She ain't scared of The Rock. Dan says that he doesn't know whether it's going to be bloodline rules or not at WrestleMania, but he's sure that The Rock has been out of the ring for a long time. And what kind of man are we going to see? We're going to see Big Dwayne energy or Little Dick syndrome. So he says doesn't think that The Rock is the final boss, just Roman's side chick. I mean, he just went on and on and on about The Rock. It was ridiculous. I think he mentioned Roman twice in this thing, and still in reference to The Rock. Now, I'm gonna finish this first, but I have a huge problem with this, and it's a similar situation with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, because we're gonna talk about that one too. I think it suffers from the same problem. But Paul Heyman, he comes out there, says that he apologizes to everyone. But he has a message from Roman Reigns. Essentially, Roman Reigns wants Cody Rhodes to show up on SmackDown alone. And if he does so, then Roman himself will show up alone on SmackDown. And they can have a little heart-to-heart, a face-to-face conversation. And if Cody accepts, then no Bloodline member will show up on SmackDown. You have Roman Reigns' word. Cody agrees. Heyman agrees. That's the end of that. So let's talk about the problem here. When you have the top guys, and it's, as a matter of fact, let me back up a little bit, because it's the same situation with Becky Lynch. You have these top guys who are in 2 or 3 feuds at a time. So you have this road to WrestleMania. It was supposed to be the road to the big match, the biggest money match possible. And a lot of these guys are in multiple feuds. I mean, Seth is feuding with Drew. He's also feuding with Roman and The Rock. Cody is, trying to help Jey Uso. He's also feuding with The Rock, primarily. And then he's occasionally having issues with Roman. Becky Lynch is having a whole feud with Nia Jax. She's also having a mini feud with Liv Morgan. But she's also got a championship match with Rhea Ripley. And when you dedicate so much time to these few characters, there's other people who are underdeveloped. And look, I understand the concept of you want to get your stars on the show as much as possible. You want them to be as involved as possible. But you have to take into account, too, your diverting energy away from other stories towards these things. If this was June or May or something like that, I wouldn't be tripping. But it's WrestleMania. Why is Becky Lynch wrestling in last man standing matches on the road to WrestleMania? There really is no point to it. There's no point to her taking the risk of her getting injured. I mean, why is, Seth Rollins involved with The Rock and Roman Reigns? He's on a completely different show. I'm on Drew McIntyre's side. Why do you even care? It doesn't make sense. Cody Rhodes still being tied up in the Jey Uso thing. We're supposed to be moved on by that. It makes sense that he's got this double feud going on because they did screw up and interject The Rock into this storyline. And yes, CM Punk got injured. Things happen. But when you got these guys working multiple feuds, you're yanking the people's attention in multiple different directions. And they're interested in different things for different reasons. But not all of this stuff is going to culminate at WrestleMania. It's going to mostly be filler matches on TV. When you could, if you're going to do something on TV, use that to build other people. But I don't care about Cody and Roman going face to face. Because now they spent the last month really putting emphasis on Cody and The Rock. That's not a singles match. It's a match that involves a bunch of other people, but it's primarily The Rock and Cody talking about each other's families. Even so much that Dustin Rhodes, who doesn't even work there, is cutting promos on The Rock on Twitter. uh, which is great, you know. He's not left out. He's not feeling too left out. But I'm just stupefied by this. There was some tickety talk that people were upset that The Rock can curse on social media and they didn't get to curse. And so now, you know, Cody Rhodes shows up and he gets to say asshole and dick without getting muted because there were some people whining like babies because The Rock gets to curse on social media and they don't get to curse. Well, Brock Lesnar also got to do steroids and nobody else got to do them. When you're a star, you get treated differently. You know, The Rock is on the board. What you going to do? Suspend him? I'm going to suspend you. I'm going to fine you. There's nothing you can do about what The Rock is doing. Worry about what you're doing. And besides, it's not like if you can curse, automatically your promos are going to be better. That's just not how it works. The Rock's promos work because he has charisma. You know, he's got personality. The way that he puts things out there is how it works. The fact that he curses in his promos only boosts the fact that he has personality and he can sound more natural because he's not going out of his way to say things he wouldn't normally say, and he's not abnormally cutting things out. So I don't think Cody went nuts with the cursing. He just used asshole and dick, and that's pretty much it. And I think he used them pretty effectively, but for the most part, it was a regular Cody Rhodes promo. You know, let's not overthink it too much. You know, like, let's not put that much thought into it. So for the rest of the night, Cody's walking around with his dog, and basically nobody believes that Roman Reigns is going to show up on the show alone. But Cody, I'm a man of my word. He said he was going to do it, then I'm going to do it. So, as Raw is going off the air, Brian Gerwitz, the writer, the personal writer of The Rock, he tweeted out something that was in reference to Cody Rhodes' promo. So, during the promo, Cody says that The Rock calls himself the final boss, but he doesn't think he's the final boss. But he also said that it's a nice little nickname that Brian Gerwitz came up for him. And Brian Gerwitz says, quote, "Final boss isn't anything I came up with. The Rock calls himself that because he is that. If it makes you feel better, Cody Rhodes, I was the first to tell him about your spectacularly stupid, goofy-ass dog." Look, I'm not even an animal guy. I'm not a pet dude. But Pharaoh is cool. All right? He's a cool-looking dog. Why he got? He's like an albino or something like that. He's a cool-looking dog, man. Brian Gerwitz, the guy who keeps The Rock's coffee warm, is making diss records, diss people on Twitter. He's also correcting things when these guys are running around here talking about The Rock ate up too much time on SmackDown. Brian Gerwitz was like, "Nah, ha, this thing ended 30 seconds before it was supposed to." And everybody's like giggling because they're like, this guy's silly. Why is he responding on social media? Why is this thing so meta? Shut up. What are you doing? Why are we using terms like heel on television? You know, I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that whole I'm a heel, he's a heel. Stop. Stop trying to break the fourth wall. Just keep everything within certain boundaries. You dig? So, okay. Cody Rhodes. All right. Next, Dominic Mysterio. He's back in the clubhouse after getting married, I think. And he's hanging out with Andrade. And they're looking Andrade over. Rhea says that Judgment Day is very exclusive. But if Andrade continues to impress them, they may be able to make some things happen and do some business. And they'll be watching Andrade's match next week. Andrade was like, okay. Then he had words with Damian Priest, and Damian Priest, adios vamonos, el heel del Judgment Day. And then he went to talk about this guy, that dork, the one with the big head. He was supposed to handle Ricochet, but he lost. And then Rhea thinks that Ricochet made a fool out of the big head guy, McDonough. He thinks that Ricochet made a fool of him, which actually did occur. And said that Dominic is going to fix it. He's going to make everything all right. And Dominic was like, sure I am. And then, of course, he didn't. Dominic Mysterio lost to Ricochet. Okay. What's this about? What happened to Dominic's push? What happened to it? How did he end up losing his push? Now Dominic does nothing but lose. He didn't even get an entrance this time. What's going on here? I am really concerned because Dominic seemed to be doing okay, and now he seems like he's in the doghouse. First, he gets absolutely squashed by Gunther. He wasn't even in any way competitive. Now he is somewhat competitive, but even with outside help, he can't beat Ricochet, who is essentially a job guy that we all forgot was on TV. So I forgot Ricochet even worked there. So it's not Ricochet has nothing going for himself. He's not in any tag team match, no Intercontinental Championship. He probably won't even be in the Battle Royal that they're going to have for this event. Why is he winning matches on TV? What's this about? Why is Dominic in this position now? It looks like they might be telling this story of maybe him getting booted from the Judgment Day or something, some business he might have with Andrade. I'm interested in that. But the Dominic Andrade match that could possibly be interesting, that's going to be shit if Dominic ain't doing nothing but losing. Because all his heat going to get blown off. Part of the reason why Dominic was so over was because he was a heat magnet. But now he doesn't talk anymore. He just wrestles matches and he loses. So he's no different than Austin Theory or Grayson Waller or anybody else that floating around this joint. Him being a chicken shit heel was fun. What happened? I don't know. Moving on. Caden Carter and Katana Chance jobbed out to Candice and Indy Hartwell. I actually like this. I don't like the match was, it was what it was. But Katana Chance went down with a tweaked knee. The referee was checking on her. Asked Indy Hartwell to step aside so he could check on the down girl and check out her knee. Candice tagged herself in, drop kicked the Caden Carter, and then put Katana Chance in a terrible Boston Crab where she yanked on her injured leg and she immediately tapped out. And of course, the crowd finally responded to Candice LeRae when she did this. So she finally got a crowd response. My God. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae both getting crowd reactions tonight. At least Johnny Gargano got a crowd reaction because the Creed brothers are so good. And they're very physical marvels and they're genetic freaks. And everybody loves what they do, but they never get pushed. Candice LeRae actually got a reaction because she was a good heel. All that bullshit about, going to a neutral corner because somebody is injured. Nah, we don't do that over here. So that was cool. People have been, the AEW fans, boy, they've been particularly nasty about that spot last week that Candice LeRae was a part of. Rightfully so. It was absolute trash. And they didn't follow up on it at all by having, Maxine cut a promo, attack Candice or nothing. Just, why would you do that? Why would you have this girl mention her dead brother and turn heel only for Maxine to not have any response? I don't know. It doesn't matter if we're being honest. At the end of the day, who really gives a shit? Backstage, we had a issue between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. So Sami Zayn is trying to be a good guy. He walks up to Chad Gable. Hey, bro, what's up? How you doing, man? Great match last week. Chad Gable is being very dismissive. He's clearly agitated. And Sami Zayn is being annoying. Come on. If you got something to say, say it. And so Chad Gable says that it just meant more for him last week. And, Sami Zayn just doesn't understand. So Sami Zayn gets offended. He pushed Chad Gable to say something that offended him. And saying, I have a family too. I have a child too. My child gets upset when I lose. You're not the only one that this is happening to. And then Gable said, look, it's not about that. This is about you can't beat Gunther. And walked off. And I was like, huh? Okay. But I see what you're trying to do here, Triple H. I'm gonna let you cook, but I see what you're doing here. Then we get the contract signing. Gunther and Sami Zayn are in the ring with Adam Pearce. Gunther is upset, like I am, that Sami Zayn showed up to this prestigious event, the most important Intercontinental Championship match in WrestleMania history, and he looks like he just went jogging in the park. So Sami Zayn is pissed. He's upset. He's talking about people basically being an underdog, talking about people not believing in him again, and said that he has been believing in himself and the crowd has believed in him when he struggled, and that he made history by ending the reign of the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. He's going to do the same thing with the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship of all time. Gunther says that Sami Zayn needs to listen to Chad Gable. He can't win. And that the people don't believe in Sami Zayn. And that Sami Zayn doesn't even believe in himself. Then says that his WrestleMania dreams will not be a reality. Sami Zayn then says that Gunther needs to look in his eyes if he doesn't believe that he can beat him. And he's wrong. He will win the Intercontinental Championship. Then Sami Zayn marches off, and they did an absolutely tremendous shot of having this long shot of the camera following Sami Zayn as he marched backstage. Like one long continuous shot, which I really like. And Sami Zayn goes up to Chad Gable and says, why do you think I'll lose? Why do you think I can't beat Gunther? And then Chad Gable lets him know that for, pretty much your entire career, you've been standing in the ring and you wait for opportunities and you take advantage of your opportunities and you steal one. You can't do that with this guy. He'll murder you, Rock. He'll murder you to death. I'm sorry. He says that you gotta change your mentality. You can't wait for an opportunity. And you see where they're going with this. And that they're going with Chad Gable being the coach for Sami Zayn. And that's how they're going to keep people from not being pissy about Chad Gable not getting the match they built up for months and then switched at the last minute. By keeping Chad Gable in Sami Zayn's corner, it takes some of the heat off of Sami Zayn. Okay, now the crowd still likes Sami Zayn. They love him, actually. But it was just that in this moment in time, people wanted to see somebody new in this position. That's what the heat was about. Booker T, who, sometimes says things that he shouldn't, went on his podcast and was talking about how much the negative reaction to Sami Zayn winning the gauntlet affected Sami personally. And that he was telling him not to listen to the noise and all this kind of stuff. And this seems like all of this was about saying, hey, it's not just a Chad Gable story. The fact that, your kids see you lose and, you get embarrassed in front of your children, that's a story of every wrestler. Sami Zayn, he's got kids. You don't think that they get upset when he loses? It's like, that's not the point. That is not the point. Sami Zayn is not the guy who made some kind of solemn vow that he was going to win a championship, in front of his, for his kids. That wasn't him. You can't then just start saying, well, we'll do the next best thing. We'll make him Sami Zayn's manager. No. He'll probably get away with it, but nope. That's dumb. So because Gable can't beat Gunther himself, he's going to coach up. He's going to coach up Sami Zayn. It's literally Rocky. That's a weird thing, isn't it? They're in Philadelphia. They're going to create a Rocky story where Sami Zayn has to regain the eye of the tiger to go beat Ivan Drago and win the championship. And it's going to be Apollo Creed, who was Chad Gable in this situation, to teach him how to do it, even though, you know, Creed got killed in that movie. But this is like literally Rocky, you know. Or is it Rocky 3? No, it's not Rocky 3 because Sammy would have had to have been the champion first, and that wasn't the case. Look, I don't hate this story. I don't have a problem with it. I just think that it was a feeble attempt to justify Sami Zayn being the guy that's going to wrestle Gunther, because you really don't have any other way of, you know, soothing the masses who are pretty upset about this Sami Zayn thing. Whatever. Why do you care? You shouldn't care. They did a CM Punk vignette where he promised he's going to be at WrestleMania. Thanks a lot, Phil. We appreciate it. Then we got the really terrible Drew McIntyre Seth Rollins story. This is terrible. Alright, so Seth Rollins admits to being a spotlight junkie. Says that every time he comes out from behind the curtain and the people sing his song, it feels better and better. Then he says that Drew McIntyre wants his full attention. He's going to get it right after he makes The Rock and Roman Reigns his bitches at WrestleMania Night 1. Drew McIntyre then says that he always wanted to see the passion from Seth Rollins. That's the guy he wants to have a match with, but that for a long time he's had backwards priorities. He said, why can't it be about our hard work? Why does it have to be about the Bloodline or The Rock or Roman Reigns? Why can't it just be about us and the hard work that we put in to elevate this championship and to do all these things so I can get what I earned? So then Seth Rollins was like, oh, I finally see. You won the championship in an empty warehouse, but then when everybody came back, the lights were too bright for you and you fumbled it. He said that Drew McIntyre been doing nothing but whining and bitching ever since about trying to get that spotlight back. So they're trying to make this about the spotlights and, you know, platform and positions and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, Drew McIntyre is feeling like he's earned the right to win a championship in front of people. He didn't get an opportunity to do that. And this is being tainted by Seth Rollins being distracted with all this Bloodline garbage. And that might all well be true, but this is a main event, technically, at WrestleMania. It's a championship match. And that tag team match is far more important than this. In fact, I dare say, once that tag team match is over, this match is irrelevant. Nobody cares. Okay, nobody gives a damn. So what are you going to do about that? It's hard to get people to care about this. You know, you have made Drew McIntyre the sixth wheel in this feud. I mean, it doesn't. What are you going to do? He's been, and then it's the weird thing because I said earlier that everybody's got these split storylines. You got Drew talking shit about Rollins, but he's also got to take shots at CM Punk. So you got to keep that feud alive. So it's almost like you at the grill. But it's like two grills, so you got to make sure this one is perfectly heated, and you're not burning the chicken over here, and you're not burning the hamburgers over here, and you're going back and forth. It's like, it's too much going on. If you just wanted to have Drew McIntyre talk shit about CM Punk, then he should just be talking shit about CM Punk. He should wrestle somebody else. If he was supposed to wrestle CM Punk, which he probably wasn't, it was supposed to be Seth Rollins, then why did you put Drew McIntyre in this position? He is unimportant in comparison to The Rock, Roman, Cody, and everything else that they got going on over there. So how is this dude involved in both a high-level main event feud and a mid-card feud at the same time? Like, Cody can't even juggle two main events. This dude trying to juggle a main event and something that is super mid-card. This is ridiculous, bro. It's truly ridiculous. Again, Gunther and Sami Zayn feels more like a big match than Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And both of those matches have happened numerous times already. If I remember correctly, Gunther has beaten Sami Zayn twice. And I believe that Seth Rollins has also beaten Drew McIntyre twice. which shows you the booking of this WrestleMania has been absolute basura. But you can't tell anybody anything, man. They too busy being in love with Triple H. Oh, I love Triple H and the way he's booking. Fuck out of here. I forgot about Alpha Academy and New Day. This is when I actually lost interest in Raw. I was at this point where I was questioning my will to live. Who cares? New Day won. Let's move on. Becky Lynch defeated Nia Jax in a match that made Becky Lynch the incredibly shrinking Becky Lynch look superhuman. How did she look superhuman? Well, a 300-pound woman kept falling on her, and she continued to get up. I mean, she did like a huge Samoan drop on her. She got up. She did the bonsai drop on her, and she got up. Technically she rolled out of the ring and landed on her feet, but she was throwing furious elbows about 45, 60 seconds later. Nia Jax, big ass Nia Jax, the Jaxzilla, got manhandle slammed off the ring apron through a table, which is not sensible because Becky is entirely too skinny to pick up Nia Jax. And there was nothing done. It's not like she hit Nia Jax in the head with something and she wobbled and just took her down. She basically just snatched her off the apron. Since when could Becky Lynch snatch 300 pounds off the apron? That's nuts. The finish was even crazier because she got up from that. But then Nia Jax is woozy. She kind of leans over the announce desk and Becky Lynch does a leg drop from the announce desk through the table, wins the match. And is anybody surprised? No. What do we waste our time? This is going to kill the ratings. It's going to kill the ratings. All the ratings going down. Who the hell wants to watch this? There's no intrigue here. There's nothing here that matters. Nia Jax was in a filler feud that now it's over. Becky Lynch has finally beat Nia Jax, as if we needed that to occur so that she can wrestle Rhea Ripley. So then at the end of the show, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch are staring at each other to end the show. Oh, thanks for that. This is stupid. Earlier in the night, Becky Lynch is having words with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is a very interesting case. Val Venus was very upset with Liv Morgan due to her supporting abortion. But Liv Morgan is like a young white woman under 30. Of course she supports abortion. Why would anybody think otherwise? I think it's the second or third time she's done that, where she basically have asked people to donate to pro-abortion organizations or something like that. Also, she's like some kind of Wiccan or something, right? Isn't she into like some kind of underground occult kind of shit or whatever? In any event, I'm not tripping on Liv Morgan supporting abortion. Just odd, whatever. Similarly, I'm not tripping over Becky Lynch going to hang out with Joe Biden. Why should I care about that? She was representing Ireland and WWE at some kind of White House thing. And that threw some people into a tizzy. Oh, how can Becky Lynch? She's going to see Joe Biden. What is this? So what? Who cares? You're overthinking it. We went from the WWE is super Republican to, now they're getting into the woke Democrat stuff. It's like, no, they always played both sides of the fence. Even way back in the days of events, they used to do the Republican National Convention and the Democrat National Convention. They always played both sides. In any event, that was Monday Night Raw. It was no good. But I did like most of the Jimmy and Jay stuff. I liked most of it. The Cody promo was okay. It wasn't terrible. It was kind of weak, but it was all right. I want to see more of Dominic and Andrade and what they got going on, and hopefully that leads to something. Gunther and Sami Zayn is a good story. Unfortunately, I think it would have been better if it was Gable, which is, the fault of the booker. This tag team thing is an absolute disaster. I hate it. I hate it down to my bones. It's just the same fucking people we've been seeing for like 6 months. I'm so sick of New Day. I don't know what to do. DIY and Pete Dunne. It's like, ugh, what the hell? This sucks ass, you know? They're not doing anything. They're not making any moves with the women's tag team division so far. Still no Jade Cargill. People have been asking whether she was going to be on this show. I thought by now they would have announced something for her. And me thinks that if they're going to have her wrestle Nia Jax, that she's probably going to end up wrestling Nia Jax now that Nia Jax is free. She's not feuding with Becky Lynch anymore. But that's stupid because we just saw Becky Lynch beat her. So we could have been doing something with Jade Cargill and Nia Jax up to this point, rather than Becky being involved in 3 fucking feuds at once. You know, could have had somebody else feuding with her. But apparently that's not the direction they wanted to go in. So we don't know whether she's going to be on the show or not, even though I believe it was pretty much an absolute axiomatic truth that she was going to end up on this show, but apparently not. When you look at WrestleMania, bro, it's a very soft card. It's very, very whack. It's a whole lot of not good. And this is what, you know, Triple H put together without Vince, you know, putting his fingers in it. And you can blame, oh, CM Punk got hurt. Oh, this happened. It was supposed to be The Rock and Roman. It was supposed to be it's like, if you can't pivot and you can't adapt and you had months. CM Punk got injured in January. And your immediate reaction was to just go with, Drew McIntyre. Get the fuck out of here. You know, you decided to back off of Cody and The Rock to give people what they really wanted. And it ended up with The Rock being on TV, which is great. But then you ended up with all of these people in 3 or 4 feuds. So, and now the people that they're feuding with other people, and those people have nothing to do. Liv Morgan has nothing to do because she's feuding with Becky Lynch, who is feuding with Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. She's the 3rd most important person in that feud. So instead of doing something else where she could be spotlighted, she's doing nothing. Except for maybe doing 10-second promos with Becky Lynch. Similarly, you know, Gunther is feuding with multiple people at once. Drew McIntyre, multiple people at once. One of whom is even injured. Seth Rollins, again. Over and over and over again. I appreciate that you want to try to make the show feel cohesive and all the characters exist in the same world and all this kind of stuff. And you want to build off of the history and you want to build off of all the things that they've done up to this point. But it's WrestleMania season. You should have been more prepared. And you should have been able to pivot and adapt. I mean, look at the amount of talent that are not going to be featured at WrestleMania that you have access to. Bianca Belair, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Braun Breaker, the Creed brothers, Shinsuke Nakamura. There's just so many different people that you could have had featured on this show somewhere. Bronson Reed, Ricochet. You have so many people that you could have been using in so many other different ways. And you chose to, well, we're going to put Ivar in a match every week, which I'm surprised there was no Ivar this week. We're going to give tons of time to Ivar. We're going to give tons of time to New Catch Republic. We're going to spend X amount of time on the absolute buffoonery that is JD McDonough. And we're going to spend all our time on that, not building stories for other people. So now WrestleMania is soft as hell in the middle. But I guess that was going to be the plan anyway. Because they was going to expect that The Rock and CM Punk was going to carry the show. And they weren't going to have to put any effort into the rest of it. Because that's exactly what they did. Brock got taken out the show too. People think Brock is going to show back up. I hope he shows up. This show needs him. I don't care if Brock does nothing but throw the first 2 rows of people down the flight of stairs. He needs to do something on this show. He needs to be at this show. This show desperately, especially the first day. The first day, they need Brock really bad. That second day, at least you got Cody and Roman. You're probably going to end up with the Intercontinental Championship on that second day. But, oh my God, bro. That first day to that main event, rough. It's going to be rough. But WrestleMania looks like shit. It's 3 weeks away. I don't know if anybody can save it. Also, they did not announce that Bray Wyatt was going to be in the Hall of Fame. Apparently, it was posted around that he was going to be, and now they're saying that he's not going to be, and that instead they're going to replace that with, they're going to do a documentary. Now, I love documentaries, so I'll definitely be there for the documentary, and it looks cool, looks great, but I don't understand why you're putting his dad and his uncle in the Hall of Fame, and then decided not to put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, why not? Is there a good reason why we wouldn't do that? I don't know. But maybe they'll just continue to wait, and then they're going to drop that bomb. Because they haven't said that the Hall of Fame is wrapped up yet. I don't know. In any event, thank you guys for your time. Sorry this was so negative to that one guy who thinks all of my reviews are negative. You got to understand, man, the business, they get out what they put in. All right. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later.